Okay, good to go. Thank you, Kim.
Okay, it is 9:03 a.m. on Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. And I call this meeting of the Central Massachusetts Veterans Service District to order. This is a remote meeting pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. This meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so using the Zoom link, meeting ID and password posted on the agenda. And I think that's it.
All right, so everyone should have a copy of last quarter's meetings. The first topic is to approve them. I will send a copy of the PowerPoint to the clerks with this as well. They said they could either post a link or print it out and post it, but they would handle it.
And the minutes look good.
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody have? All right, I'll move to accept the minutes. Oh, hold on. Of March 19th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
Oh, and we need to do a roll call
Roll
vote.
call vote.
Yes, remote.
Aye, Waffle.
Foster, aye.
Blake, aye.
Dobson, aye.
Aye.
All right, so Diane has a little bit of a deadline, so we're trying to go to 9:30, but first agenda item, the chapter 115 reimbursements to the towns. The treasurers should have received April, May, and June 2023's payments this month. They were like a year and a half or almost 2 years behind on the last payment, but this one should get it caught up.
This is the state was behind. I'm sorry.
Yes. So we had a sit rep meeting with the state in, I think it was April or May, and they said the FY like 22 January, February, March payments were getting submitted, but then the next one said April, May, June 23 was coming to the town. So they're about a year, they're paying about a year behind. But there haven't been any issues that we found. The amounts seem correct. So that is all going well. Any questions on that?
Just out of curiosity, is there a reason they're a year behind, or is it just because that's how the state does it?
I can find that out. I would say that's just the way they do it. They probably have to get their budgets approved and figure out how much they're actually reimbursing. 351 towns. That's a lot of that. I think this quarter's payment was like well over $1 million. The director of benefits said, so it's probably quite a process. But
Okay.
I'll see if I can get a better answer.
I assume there might not be one, just curious.
You may be aware, we do have now, we have a new town accountant who started last week. So I think now that we have a new town accountant, I know you've been working with our treasurer who's been here a couple months now, but maybe you want to connect with the two of them next time or set up a time and just, they might have some ideas about process and might be worth connecting.
All right. Next up is this is a program I learned about from another VSO. He started a couple years ago making a birthday card. as a postcard. He designs it himself. He had a printing company print out these cards, and every birthday in a month he sends somebody just a postcard. They're more likely to pick it up and see it rather than opening an envelope. Just happy birthday, here's our contact info. And he said his Veterans Day lunches, he's seen gone up about 50 people. People call in thanking him. It's just a way to get the community engaged with us. I have a quote from IBA Print Shop, who Grafton uses I identified about 2,700 veterans in the district. From the clerk's reports, it's 2,724 to be exact. I got a quote for 2,800 postcards. It was about a little over $500 to have them printed, and then we could mail them just through the towns every month. I think it's a great way to do some outreach, not a huge bill. If that's something we need to vote on, I'm not sure. I would wait until July anyways I'm not trying to push it through on this year's bill, but the district budget is doing well right now. There aren't any big surprises.
Actually, it might be better. I wonder if you have money available in this budget, if we want to proceed to use funds that you have left over in this
Okay.
year.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'd have to I know the tech budget went over what was kind of set aside, but the other lines haven't been touched.
Yep.
So I did just purchase a printer for the office in Westboro. I used the new tech line, and in July we have to get Ashley a new laptop. Hers is starting to not perform very well. But I'll see if I can figure out if $500 is available.
I think you should have it.
Yeah,
Um,
because I think the print shop could move quick.
yeah.
IBA.
One of the things, just a couple thoughts. I mean, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good means of outreach.
Yep.
Just two thoughts. Is that something a task you could have, your senior tax work off staff
Yes.
in the office?
Daryl and Jane are already on board. We would print just a bunch of labels. I could give them a list. Here's
Good.
July's birthdays. Can you stick a label on the postcard and bring it up to the mailroom?
And then, do you have a means? So this is generated from the clerk's office, from the census list, is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
I mean, we
Just
could
a little
cross-reference it.
sensitivity to some of the older veterans, and maybe making sure that we know that they're still with us, I guess.
Right. Well, that was one. I didn't want to mail a postcard and
I'm trying to be sensitive.
yeah,
Make sure
like if it's the middle of
how-
the month, they get it, but they passed away at the beginning of the month. How do we know?
Do you get those updates, Jeff? I guess just even separate from this, do you get notified when a veteran, is there a formal?
Not necessarily. So in Shrewsbury, I get a copy of every veteran death certificate in our mailbox.
Okay.
I can request them. I mean, maybe it's something we can set up for the clerks to alert me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good idea. We can certainly do that.
Yep.
and I don't know, maybe at some point you extend it to a.
Yeah, like I just heard about a burial a week or two ago here in Northborough of a veteran that I hadn't heard of.
Yeah. Do you want me to reach out to the town clerk's
Right.
office for you? Or you want-
Sure. And I was planning on stopping by at some point today.
Oh,
I
well,
can
go
touch
ahead and,
base with
yeah,
them.
go ahead and say, I think they're both in
Okay.
today. Awesome.
Okay.
All
I'm just
right.
thinking if, you said you had what, 2,700 people on the list?
Roughly.
Okay,
I know one or two of them have moved out of town, but
okay, the mail. will just get-
2,700, and there might be some we don't know about. I got a quote for 2,800.
And that's what I'm wondering, is there any way we can also, like if we're using this in a way as outreach,
Yep.
also if there are people we're not identifying, but they hear about, I don't know.
Right.
I'm just trying to think of a way they can reach out and let you know that they're also a veteran, or that might just be a whole separate effort.
Right, yeah, because the census, isn't it individually driven? Like you have to say you're a veteran when you move,
Each
so
household
Self-report, yeah.
receives the
there could be
form.
more.
Yep. Yeah. So you have to complete it and return it. And we
Mhm.
know not everybody does. Yeah. It's self-identification. Okay. No, I think it's a good start.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you might
Good
see
idea.
people who come out and say, "Oh, I didn't get a birthday card. I want
Right.
one."
Yeah.
And
Where's
make themselves
mine?
one.
It's nice. Yeah, it's a nice thought.
Do we have a draft design of what the birthday card would look like, Jeff?
not yet. So the print shop was just there. I can't remember the designer's name. I think it's Nordberg, Julia, maybe.
Oh, Julie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's
Julie.
working on a design, but I think the front would just be like who knows, like a birthday cake and happy birthday, and then we could put the district images on the back with my signature and
Mhm.
contact info. Nothing, simple.
Yep.
Catch someone's attention when they pick it up.
I think it might be nice if you can incorporate some sort of brief statement, like your something to bring it back to like the community, extending
Right.
their wishes and thanking,
Okay.
so I don't know what the other ones looked like and if they had a message, but I
Yeah,
think
I can ask Donnie to send me a copy of his and Bill Ricca. He's the one who started it. He spoke to us a couple months ago at an association meeting and threw out the idea.
Yeah.
But he's had good luck with it. Worcester is starting a similar program as well. So Joe wants to do something in Worcester. He probably has more veterans than us just in one city.
okay.
Just another thought for things to put on there, Jeff. You mentioned that we were gonna, add mailing labels for them to get to where they need to go. Maybe add a section of our next event is,
Oh,
and then you can put another label there. It's, coffee hour on the 14th or Veterans Dinner on the 9th in Worcester, in Shrewsbury or something like that.
yep.
Just so kind of
Okay.
point them in the right direction.
All right.
That's great.
All right. Fourth topic, grave marker replacements. I'm talking about just a little plastic flag holder. I ordered 100 for Grafton that the trustees of the soldiers use their budget for. Each town right now needs some. I'm trying to see, I can get an invoice for Northborough for about 100. If you buy 100, they're roughly $12 a piece. So, ordering it 100 at a time is $1,200, $1,300 of shipping. So I think that's a good number a year to order. A lot of them are getting faded. Some are missing. I did walk around a few cemeteries and would see a flag in the ground. So having these markers, it's not something the district could buy, so it would be each town's budget.
Well, I guess I'm just thinking that through. If the district purchased them and made sure, like if you're saying if you need to purchase in increments of 100.
Well, I think I could get the company to, if we did an order of say like 400, they would give us an even better discount, but it
Are
would
they
be an invoice from each
individualized?
town.
Are they specific? Do they all look the same or do they look?
Yes.
Okay.
No, they're all a little star. It says US veteran. Let me see.
So even if you ordered 200 through the district and 50 were available to each town.
This is a National Guard one, but it would say it has a star in the middle. It just says US veteran, and then a little spot to put the aluminum rod on the back. Like Justin Kevin, I think he's been buying his own.
Mhm.
He seems to
He
be
has
on
boxes
top
at
of
the
getting
cemetery.
them. It's just, I know in Westboro, they said they needed some to replace just faded and discolored ones. And Don in Northborough only has, I think, like 5 in his truck. So, but as new funerals come around or they get broken, you know, they should be replaced. Please, I don't think it's unless we created, I don't know how it would work, but a budget line that each town would pay into, the district could buy them. And I would just divvy them up between the towns, but
I
each
guess I'm
town
just trying
can,
to figure out if we have expense money left, do we pull from the district budget right now? Does it make sense to say, we're gonna order 200 total, each community gets 50 of those, and I guess either once those are based on if there are ones that are missing right now need to be replaced, and once each community uses all 50, then it's on them to do the next purchase. I don't know. I'm just thinking through.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't make sense, but if
yeah, I don't think we have that much. I mean, that would be a few $1,000s. I don't know if we have that much wiggle room in the district. I know some of the community lines in each town, there's money available. That, you know, I was talking to Di about some in Northborough. I think I have the funds to cover, you know, 100 to get Northborough some. And in July, I can order more out of the community line in Westboro.
we haven't touched the insurance line, the health insurance line in our budget, the district budget, so
Yeah, Ashley and I both
that's a pretty
have
hefty chunk that's
insurance
available.
elsewhere.
I don't know, maybe, I don't know if anybody else has
Yeah.
any strong feelings, but I'm not sure. I mean, if we have the money within the district budget, does it make sense, or do we just keep this wholly separate?
Well, I think if we buy in bulk and we're able to leverage
Yeah,
a discount that way, then if there is funds to be used, then I think it'd be a good idea to use them.
Right.
Get them at a lower price per unit than if each community got 50 or 25 on our own.
And then maybe we, going forward, it doesn't mean the district always purchases them, it's just if right now we have the ability. William, do you have any thoughts on that? If we have expense money that we haven't spent and we could use it?
I would agree with you. I think that if we have the opportunity to get them at a lower price, we should. And, you know, Jeff, you said earlier that the district can't order them, or just historically the district hasn't ordered them.
no, I don't think they have. Justin did order some, but I think he did it through each town.
Okay.
Not the
Yeah, I
district.
mean, maybe this is something we look at moving forward where the district orders what each town needs to get the bulk price, and then, you know, we find the way to make everybody whole. But I think that might be a more complicated discussion for the next 9
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah,
But for right now, I would agree. I think that if we can get a better price and get what we
Okay.
need, we should do that.
Jeff, do you know, can you look into what the price points are? And
Yeah,
maybe-
I was just trying to pull the website up and it's tricky.
And we don't have to do it now, but
Yeah,
could you work with William and maybe, I guess, Mary to understand if there's budget available and what makes sense?
absolutely. Oh, here we go. No, that's aluminum.
Because
Yeah,
if
I
we
will,
ordered them,
I'll do some digging.
okay.
And Jeff, you and I can follow up on that tomorrow.
Sure. All right. The only other quick for discussion is needed. Ashley and I have both applied for the VA certification through the state. They're going to be, we get a temporary special authorization to be claims agents. And then the state is going to run a training session, I believe next month, to get us actually certified. Nothing changes. We still submit everything through the state. Ashley and I wouldn't have to attend board appeals. That would still go to Boston, to the National Service Officers. But it just makes everything official in the VA's eyes. That all just happened in the last week or two. The info is coming in fast and furious, so.
So basically, they're requiring anyone who's assisting veterans in completing that paperwork to go through
Yes.
the process.
Yeah,
Okay.
so a lot of the VSOs are already either a national service officer or certified through an agency. They don't have to do any of this, but if you want to continue working with VA claims, you have to get this. It's like a 3-hour training session. It's not going to cost us anything. So it's
Okay.
just training through the state.
Are you aware in any of the communities, are there any other entities that are assisting veterans, and have you informed them of this change?
The only one I know of is the DAV,
Okay.
and they're not in any of our towns.
Okay,
They have office hours at the VA in Worcester, and I think their headquarters is out west of Worcester, like Leicester, Gardner area.
okay.
They own 2 properties in Leominster that they offer to veterans in need that I just learned about.
All right, I just didn't know if any of the advisory
No.
board had folks who were, okay.
No, none of them are. If the VFW ever pick back up, they are the VFW and the American Legion are accredited service organizations, but none of the local ones have service officers that are doing this. It's just us. Well, that was all I have.
Okay. Okay, I just had a question about the last quarter payment for the district. Do we expect that? I don't know if I just missed that. I had
So
to,
they said June. I don't know when. I could follow up with the treasurers to see if they've received it. But when Evan from the state benefits tells us, he just says June. I don't know if that means June 1 or.
okay,
Di, are you talking about the district?
yeah, from
The
Grafton.
chapter 115.
Making sure if I
Oh,
need to encumber
Sorry.
money that I do this year.
no, there should be no, the budget hasn't gone over.
No, I'm
No.
just asking when Grafton plans to
Oh.
bill for the last quarter.
I will ask Mary about that today.
Okay.
So I know last year we had the discussion with Mary about changing the way we did it, so that way
Mhm.
you got the actual bill. There was no, projected, and then there was an adjustment on the first quarter bill for next year. So I'll
Yeah,
just follow up with her and make sure we're still on pace for that. I
Right.
believe we are, and that should be out shortly.
okay, and we don't have any reason to encumber any funds? that we
I
can
don't
do?
see any.
Does not sound like it.
Okay. All right.
Jeff, can you just make sure we're heading into the summer and vacation schedules? Hopefully you and Ashley can get away, you're able to do so, but can you just make sure we're in the loop on any
Sure.
changes if you need to flex the schedule or things like that? I think it's understandable given the,
Yeah, I think we're both waiting for our PTO dump. So I know I don't really have,
okay.
I might take a week off here and there come July or August, but
Okay,
trying to save my time. We're looking for houses and
Okay, just let us
Not
know,
going
'cause I
anywhere.
think if there's, if we need some coverage, we've got
Yeah.
senior tax work-off folks here.
mhm,
And they can assist, and even if they need to field calls for the district, whatever,
okay,
just
Awesome.
communicate that.
we'll do.
all righty then. And when's the next meeting?
I think we have it in the calendar in September, I thought, but hold on.
September 10th is what I
September
have.
10th.
Okay, so I will be away on September 10th. We can either reschedule, or if you guys are fine to meet without me, that's fine.
Can everybody bump it to the, does the following week work, the
Yep,
17th?
the 17th, yep.
Why don't we bump it?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yep.
we don't meet that often, so.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you want to
I did-
continue to meet through Zoom? Or you want to meet in person?
I don't see I'm fine with Zoom.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, either will work for me come September.
yep, okay. All right, why don't I plan to just send out the invite right from here, right after
Okay.
this? And get it on our calendars.
And did the Northborough staff meetings get moved to Thursdays? Cause there was the 17th, I have a staff meeting scheduled
Of
at 9
June or July?
of September.
Oh, September. No,
Yeah.
no, they're gonna be as needed. They're no longer like
Oh, okay.
day of each month.
All right.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
All right,
And
do we need to adjourn?
adjourn.
Mhm.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Second.
I.
Dobson, I.
Foster, aye. All right,
All right. Thanks, everybody.
good
Okay,
day,
I'll be
All right.
everybody.
Have a good day.
Take care, everyone.
Thank
you.
Thanks.
take
Bye.
care.
Bye.